beautiful. It's great to see you. It's lovely to be out here in the breeze, in the sunshine, with the sun, with everything that's happening outside, which I will show you without further ado. It's actually a pretty scruffy time of year in this garden because everything is slowing down, but because of the lack of water, right? But we've still got the fuchsia, and well, let me show you these flowers. There you go. I love these. They're simple. This is a very old fuchsia. It's nothing fancy, but I really like it. Good morning, Robin. So I'm enjoying that. And look, we've still got a few flowers left on the white phylacterum. Just the very few. I cut the whole thing down because it had all turned into seed heads, and you know, you got to stop that. The very last of the foxgloves. But look inside, aren't they fabulous? Look at that. Good morning, Sang Marie. It's great to see you live. And look at this thing. It'll probably carry on till next year if I don't pull it out. It's actually, foxgloves are a biennial. Not just one day, 1 year. They do 2 years. Good morning, Farah. And look, we have flowering cilantro. So, there it is. I love this. I don't know if I can manage to... There we go. Now you can see the detail of flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Laurie. Good morning, Faye. It's just lovely to be here, sharing this glory. You know, we walk straight past these things. It just looks like parsley, because it's a parsley relative. But when you look close, you see wonders. And look at the leaves. I mean, yes, I know we eat them, but look at it. This is what it does when it grows. So what else have we got in this garden that's definitely getting to the scruffy stage, but still has little treasures? Clearly we have dahlias. They get bleached by the sun, but there we go. Let me give you some shade. Oh, sun reflecting off the screen. I'm trying to get some focus for you here. There you go. Now you can really see it. It's fabulous, yeah? Just the perfect magenta. And the colours here of the green ferns and the purple cotinus, I really enjoy that. Oh, and there's just the very first of the year flower on the commelina, which if I make some shade, now you can see it's the most fabulous blue. It's a really unusual flower because not many flowers are this colour. It's a true sky blue. And I don't know how well it comes through the screen. There it is backlit, there it is without. And it's glorious. And we have some late roses. See, shade is really helpful so you can see the colour. The other thing that's really happening here at the moment is the Luculia. Look, it's just covered in flowers. It's going to get bigger. Look at all those. They're just starting to really come out. Oh, wow. Memories of Mum. I went to see my mother yesterday. We had a holiday in Wellington. There's more flowers. So it was nice to have lunch with her. Let me show you the detail. Oh, that one's fallen off, but this one's still alive. There you go. Now you can see. Look at that. Isn't it a fabulous thing? Good morning, Roberta. The thing I can't show you with the white Luculia is that it smells glorious. It's got a fabulous scent. Oh, and this is a wild thing. This is New Zealand spinach. Very high in vitamin C. When the explorers, Captain Cook and his crew arrived in New Zealand, they had scurvy, and this was one of the things that helped them treat it because it's got a lot of vitamin C in it. All right, let me get on with the topic. Today, Technique Tuesday, right? This is my new pattern of things this year, as I decided to give each day more or less its own theme. Of, you know, the same thing each week, but different, of course. And so Technique Tuesday it is. And yesterday and Friday, we've had a kind of focus on healing the body and understanding how we can program ourselves for disease because of how the fact that we think a thought, we make neurotransmitters, those neurotransmitters make the hypothalamus make neuropeptides, and then the peptides speak to the pituitary, and the pituitary whips up a bunch of other stuff, and And then that goes to your hormonal centres and you get chemistry and that programs your cells. And if you are thinking and feeling stressful, sad, unhappy, angry, whatever thoughts, anything that isn't a good feeling, morning Kerry, then if you keep doing that over time, you are programming your body for disease, period, because long-term exposure to the hormones of stress does that. That's a fact. I'm not trying to scare you, it's just a fact. It's like, it applies to me too. I catch myself thinking, oh my God, how long have I been feeling crappy for? Shit, for that long, I've been programming my cells. Gotta change that. And so we've been talking about that, and that is how we create a lot of our own diseases. Now, we don't do it to hurt ourselves. We don't do it because we just want to sabotage our lives. We do it unconsciously because we don't realise this is how it works, right? And, if you keep thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same things, you're going to express the same genes. It's the other thing, is that chemistry wakes up receptors on your cells and makes genes express. And if you keep doing the same gene expression, you're going to get a very predictable genetic destiny. And if the thoughts and feelings that you're thinking and feeling are common to what your parents thought and feel, well, that's probably the kind of condition that you're going to manifest in your body the same as theirs, because it's that thinking and that feeling that creates the genetic thing. And a lot of the time, 1 to 5% of disease is truly genetic. The rest of it is we being our epigenetic masters and creating it that way. Not beating up on you. Again, it's just fact. This is how it works. So, and then over the weekend, I was having a conversation with a dear friend of mine. She came around to see us, my husband and I. And because of the reading I've been doing and the sort of, my own education, seeing things with new eyes, understanding things differently, the way the conversation went, I realised I was hearing words being spoken that I've heard being spoken and said with the same thought and the same feeling for such a long time. And it was like a light went on in my head, and I thought, oh my goodness. This is a repeating thought, a repeating feeling. And I know, because I love this person. Andrew, it's great to see you. I love this person dearly. Really good friend. Love them to bits. And I know what they've been struggling with all this time. And I think, oh my God, this is the sponsoring creative thought. And they've done everything they know how to do, thinking and making choices and taking courses and doing everything they were told. And it's like, well, none of it fucking worked, And it reinforces the experience. This is impossible to change. Not physicality, by the way, something else. And it got me thinking about Technique Tuesday, and it got me thinking because I love my friend. And I thought, well, the real challenge here is that there is a deeply ingrained state of being. State of being is the thought and the feeling, and then the feeling becomes the thought, and the thought becomes the feeling, and round it goes. And oh God, I remember this. For me, it was about money, right? It doesn't matter. But you just feel like a frog trying to leap out of a bucket. And the bucket's too deep. And you think, oh, I got to feel differently. And this guru that I studied with said you got to do that. And and you whip yourself up into the feelings and it's just like a bleh. And you might even do it for a while and nothing happens. And you think, bleh. What is the deal with this? And I was thinking about how you break yourself out of that deadlock, because we all have these deadlocks. If this is a fact, if this is a science of how we create not only our epigenetic expression, but actually how we create our lives. How do you break this deadlock with something that's so ingrained and impossible, and I've tried it before and I've failed 100 times? How do you break out of that deadlock? And as it turns out, it was something I read in Joe's book. There's some research, which I'll tell you about because it illustrates it perfectly. Some research that was done, I don't know when, a little while ago, about exercise and emotion, right? So you have two bunches of people and they're actors. And they had given a certain amount of exercise to do. But before the exercise, the control group just goes and does the exercise. But the experiment group, because they're actors, they are asked to summon up negative feelings, right? Angry, resentful, blah, blah, blah. And they do the exercise, and they discover that after the exercise, the things that are supposed to change positively didn't. pretty much no benefit exercise. If you do your exercise in a shitty frame of mind, you might, well, I was going to say you might as well be sitting on the couch. You know, it doesn't change the markers in your body if you're feeling like shit. Now, that's interesting. But the reason why that applies to today is because it's the sideline, you know, that Joe says in his book. Of course, it's in the book that I'm reading. Well, you know, the experimenters chose actors because they can summon up emotions on command. They can just do it. And I was thinking to myself yesterday when I was thinking about Technique Tuesday, well, how do they do it? So, you know, I asked Google, you know, how do actors call up emotions? Well, it turns out, now wait for this. It turns out what they do, what they learn to do as a skill, to bring up memories and imaginations, real or imagined, to bring up memories or creations of what that character that they are playing might have for the reason why they feel the way they do, or how they might be reacting to a scary situation or a wonderful situation or whatever. They draw on their neurological library of memories of what that experience is like, and they bring it up. And yeah, they've learned what facial expressions to use and what body language. But the really great actors bring these emotions up so powerfully that they believe they are that character. That's why this is like, oh my God, you know, this is what they do. Ask Google, you'll find out. And so I was thinking, well, you know, what if we're all movie stars in our own lives, which we all know, I mean, that's an old analogy. We are the movie star in our own lives and we write our own script, tra-la-la. But if you've become kind of hypnotized and totally brainwashed into being this character, and you think you can't be anything else, what if it was your job to play, Freudian slip there, to play a really happy character instead of the whatever one, you know, a really sick one or a really angry one or a really scared one or whatever it is. What if it was your job to summon up happy feelings independent of anything else? Yeah, take a moment, close your eyes and get into the now. And you know, I heard him saying in an interview, Carrie, like, this is a recent interview, I don't know, a few weeks or whatever ago. Because the interviewer asked him a question, how often do you react? And he said, I react all the time. I react all the time. And I just, you know, I excuse myself. I go away and sort my, you know, do what I do. I can't remember his words. Sometimes it takes a Herculean effort. And he says something about sometimes it takes an hour to get this shit back together. This is Joe Dispenza, you know, the master. He still loses it. It is our job every day, Roberta. I'm glad you get it. So it's his job too. Because imagine, he's running this big business, he's doing all this scientific research, he's dealing with people. Oh my God, people will push your buttons. Staff, you know, administration requirements, organising this massive thing that he's building. He reacts every day. He is not all zen all the time. Lives in the real world. Lives in a much more quote-unquote real world than I do. I'm aware of that. So what if it was your job to train yourself to be a freaking actor in your life, so that the fact that it feels so wrong and so out of place, and you know, you have actors who are playing this happy person and their marriage is breaking up or someone in their family is dying or whatever, they have to go on set and be that character, and they have to be believable, because if they're not believable, they're not going to get paid and they won't get the next job. Well, they will get paid, but they won't get the next job. You know, their life, their livelihood depends upon them convincingly believing and becoming that character regardless of their circumstances. Isn't that just a perfect analogy of what we have to do? So, okay, 14 minutes. I got to stop raving and we got to start doing this. So by now, with me, you know, raving on like this, you're thinking, oh shit, really? Because, you know, if you knew that you would be paid $1 million, which plenty of actors get paid for being this character for 6 months, which might be as long as the movie takes to shoot, although I think shooting times are often shorter. But, let's just make this up. How hard would you work at it? It is our magic. Bob Ross, Mr. Rogers. Very cool. I believe you, Roberta. This is what we have to do. So, by now with all this rave, you will already be very aware of what you don't want to feel and think anymore. You may be a lot less clear about what you do want to think and feel. Now, why is that? Because you've got a ton of hardware and memories and experiences to say, I know how to be this defeated person that can't break through, and that's me, and I can't do it, and, blah, 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 blah. But you don't know who the person is that has, right? And this is a common problem. Oh, feck, you want me to be this new person? Well, who the hell are they? You have to you must know that whoever that person is, they're going to feel happy. To start with happy. Or if happy is something, because the next thing is, you must have some memory of when you felt really happy, at least once. At least once. And if you can't remember that, just go for gratitude. Because why? Because, as Dr. Joe says, when you are in gratitude, you have received something you wanted. So if you choose that for 6 months I'm going to be a character who walks around through the movie of my life pretending to be grateful, that's fine. That will do. Because if you pretend it for long enough, one of these days you'll wake up and you think, oh my God, I actually feel this. And that is exactly my experience, by the way. Because you don't have much hardware in your head about being grateful. You have less hardware in your head about feeling happy. You don't know what it feels like to feel whole and loved and blessed. Because, I was shitty at feeling all of those things. I've got better at it. I really have. So, if it's your job to pretend, and you walking through your life, pretend, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful because all of the things that I don't know how to solve have been solved. I'm just so grateful. Oh my God, I'm grateful. And I'm pretending to be grateful. After a while, when you keep pretending, what are you doing when you're pretending? You are making new connections in your brain. And you know why it feels so shitty and wrong? Because you're going against the chemical continuity of I can't do this. Resentful, frustrated, whatever it is. It is fake it till you make it. And that used to drive me crazy, but I understand now the reason why it feels so wrong, and it helps me to understand the reason, is because I'm going against what my body's been programmed to accept as normal and right and good, even when it feels bad, for 54 years or however long it is. I'm not used to feeling happy. I'm not used to feeling grateful. My body says, oh no, that's unknown. We want things to stay the way they are. Thank you very much. You've programmed yourselves for resentment and misery and frustration, and that's going to feel good. It's familiar. Even as it feels bad, it's familiar and you're used to it, so you go back to it. So realising that pretending, and for some reason I prefer pretend to fake, I don't know why. Pretending is going to feel wrong, but if you persist with it, like you're going to be paid $1 million, because you will be one way or another, and you can make that into $1 million if you decide to. What do you think I'm walking around in my life pretending how it feels to have more resources than I know what to do with so that I can find fantastic ways to help people with them? Do you know what that feels like in your body? Have you practiced that? I do now. So, all of which is to say, pick something, pick one little corner of the chocolate bar and find out what that feels like. And realise it's going to feel bad, but, make it up. Who would you be if you were that person where all the questions that you can't answer magically had answers appear? How would you feel in the moment when those answers arrived? Wow! That's amazing. I was so worried, and here it is. I'm so grateful. Oh, all that worry and concern is just draining away. How would you feel in the moment when all of the answers you've been seeking arrive? And you got to stop wondering what they are, because you don't know. But if you put yourself in the space where you actually know what it feels like when they've arrived, and you don't give up after 1 week, and you don't give up after 2 weeks or a month or 6 months or however fucking long it takes, because how long have you been running the current program, then, you know, sooner or later you're going to become an energetic match for what you desire. Nora, good morning! And then it can find you, speaking from experience. So how do you do this? You identify the feeling, and that is often the hardest part, because once you really know what it is you want to feel, and gratitude's a great thing, or happy, or love, or just pick a positive emotion, and guess what? Breathe that in and out of your heart, create a little coherence. And again, you might have to do it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. How much do you want that $1 million? How much desire do you have for your future? To not give up because it feels wrong and unfamiliar and not known to you, and you don't know how it feels, and you don't know what shape it is, and you don't believe it's going to ever happen. How much do you want it? More than all your old beliefs and your old failures? It takes that kind of will and determination to break the habit of being ourselves. And if you put it in your heart and you breathe it in and out of there, and you know, I'm standing in my garden walking around because I like to do that. So stand up, choose this emotion, breathe it in and out of your heart, you know, shut the door in your lounge or whatever, kick everybody out for 10 minutes and walk around and become that person. It's going to feel bad. It's going to feel wrong. It's going to not feel like you. That's the whole idea, isn't it? You're going to walk into somebody new. There's no shortcut for this, but this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And yeah, if you dive into the work of Joe Dispenza, and again, do not get put off if it's hard and unfamiliar to you. It will be, probably. But you'll find your groove, you'll find your rhythm, and then things start to move and line up and change more quickly, and you become that person. Yeah, positive people really help. Not everybody actually has that option, Robin, which is why I don't necessarily talk about it. But oh my God, it really helps. You know, I live with somebody who's really good for me, and I'm really good for him. It makes such a difference. But if you don't have positive people, don't let that be your excuse. Because ultimately, you have to change who you are inside. And what do you know? One day you look up and there are positive people in your life, and you never went looking for them. So, haven't actually done it together, but I got to stop now. But I have told you how. Not in detail, you know, if I was working with you one-on-one it'd be different, but we got to start somewhere, so that's what I wanted to say today. Finally, I will be back in 3.5 hours to give you the update on our beautiful Sang Marie Gomez, who is with us, on what he's been doing in the Gambia, what's coming up. It's an exciting time. And I look forward to you joining with us. And you're right, Carrie, it is so uncomfortable to start with and so worth it. Every time you break through, it's like, oh my God, I did it! And then you feel better about the next time more shit comes up from inside you and you need to overcome it, because you know you can. All right. Thank you, Jan. I know you get it. Mike, hello. It's great to see you just in time to say bye-bye. Sweetie, it's beautiful to see all of you. Erin, enjoy the replay, darling. I got to go inside and put my other hat on. Big love to you all. I want to know what you think about this. I want you to try it out. I want you to tell me what happens. I know I'm out of time. Tough it. Tell me what happens, please. Because I need to know what you fall over so I can give you more useful, hopefully, advice or suggestions that you can try out next so we grow together. Big love. I'll see you in 3.5 hours or tomorrow. Bye-bye.